Greetings and salutations, knowledge seekers, and welcome to this video. Today I want to talk to you about expectations. And since the video is about the fact that expectations are poisoning our life and destroying our happiness, I have no particular expectations of what I'm going to say. Other than the fact that I feel expectations are a manifestation of our continuous desire to achieve instant gratification. And I think I understand that that can sound a little bit paradoxical to people, particularly when, talking about long-term goals. And so how can a long-term goal have or represent a manifestation of our desire to achieve something in the short term, right? To fulfill our short-term needs. Well, let's start there, I guess. It depends a little bit on what the goal is. So I've spoken about goals in another video, but I think most of us have the wrong notion of how we're supposed to structure our overall goal system. We're focusing on things that are external to us and not on what's within us. So, an example of that would be if you want to achieve a promotion, that's something that's outside of the realm of your control and depends on many different factors. And if you want to, improve your communication skills, that's something that's fully within your control, right? But usually the relationship between those two is as follows. So let's say that the goal is I want to achieve or I want to become a better communicator. And then that's not the goal in itself, right? That's not the actual main objective of what you're trying to accomplish. What you're really aiming to do is something else. You want to be a better communicator because, I don't know, you want to be able to give presentations at work, or you want to improve your sales, or you want to create better relationships with the people around you, with your friends, or you feel like you're a people pleaser and that others are not listening to you, so you want to make a concerted effort into expressing yourself in a clearer, better manner, right? And that's admirable. Like, all of these are reasonable objectives. Again, I always talk about self-improvement, being better, focusing on the self. So in that context, I feel the latter ones, those that are focusing on, improving yourself and not being, let's say, a people pleaser or somebody that's overlooked in different social contexts. I feel that that's more productive than aiming to impress your colleagues at work, which are amazing articulation skills. But hey, to each their own, right? At least it's in any kind of in both instances you're striving to achieve something that's meaningful to you, so that's admirable. But again, the means to get to the destination matter, right? Because let's use the people pleaser as an example. So how is it that if you are aiming to become less of a people pleaser, to become more assertive, and you're taking active steps to do that by, let's say, improving your communication skills, by having a more assertive posture and having a more open body language and being more confident in the tone of your voice, how is that related to instant gratification? I think the answer to that is pretty easy, right? You want to be another person, basically. You want to be somebody that you're not. At this point in time, you want to develop into into somebody you want to become. And usually what happens, and what's happening to me, for instance, with this YouTube channel, I'm not getting any views, so I'm getting anxious, I'm getting depressed, I'm getting down on myself, because supposedly my content is not good. Not supposedly, my content is not good enough to attract the type of reaction that I was hoping it would get, right? And I've been doing this for a month, and I think even if I kind of suck at it, based on the lack of reception that I'm getting, at least I'm doing something right. I have a little bit of a better setup now. I've learned a little bit how to edit the video, how to post it online. I'm a little bit more clear in my delivery, and I'm a little bit more free sitting here talking to the phone and to myself. So these are all the positive things that are actually happening, but the goal was to get followers, right? And it's the same with the goal is to get validation from external, from other people, from an external source, so I can feel better about myself and how smart I am. And it's the same with the people pleaser situation. I'm going off on tangents, but again, there was no expectations for this video, so let's see where my mind takes us. With the people pleaser type of deal, again, you are striving, you're working towards achieving a particular goal, and you're taking steps on the way. But the reality is that you don't know exactly how that's going to work out, right? Because you are dependent on the perception of others. So if others see you as weak, as feeble-minded, as somebody, as a pushover, as somebody that they can just run over and not respect, maybe even if you change, like even if you do everything that's necessary to proactively address the weaknesses in your character, which you probably won't, because, you know, again, focusing on like communication and body language are pretty surface level measures. But even if they were to be effective, even if those improvements resulted in a more meaningful change in your demeanor and your internal perception of who you are, confidence breeds confidence, right? Even if that was the case, people around you might still not respect you as much as you want to be respected. And there might be two reasons for that, right? So one is because they already have this perception of who you are in their mind's eye. And the second thing is maybe because you see yourself, because you've made a certain level of progress, you see yourself as more assertive than other people do, right? So maybe you were on the assertiveness scale, maybe you were somewhere here, and now all of a sudden, because you made some progress, you feel you are kind of here. But in reality, maybe you are somewhere over there, right? So still pretty far away from your actual target, but in your mind's eye, in your perception, you see yourself much closer to the destination than what you actually are. And that's what I mean by the disease of the desire to achieve instant gratification. Because we feel like if we make a little bit of effort, if we do a little bit of a push, if I go from filming in my bedroom to filming here, I have a little bit of a nicer background, I do a little bit of things with the light, and, you know, I change the profile image of the channel, and then miraculously everybody is going to be amazingly interested in what I'm doing. And same goes with the people pleaser, same goes with somebody that's, I don't know, let's use another example, somebody that's striving to get a promotion, right? Oh, I'm working so hard, I'm doing my best to get this, and I'm not getting it because of why? Because maybe somebody is doing an even better job. But from my perspective, that's not the case. That person is not as good as I am. Yeah, but you're not the one in the position to make that decision, right? You're subjectively looking at it. Every piece of YouTube content that I look at seems worse than mine, and yet they have hundreds of thousands of views and mine have 3. So we are not the best judges of our progress. We are not the best judges of other people's performance, is what I'm trying to say. But we're judging ourselves and we're judging others on a minute to minute basis, right? So we want to see. That's why big goals need to be broken into small goals, then they need to be broken into even smaller goals. Because we are incapable of looking ahead more than, I don't know, a month. For some of us, maybe a day, but for others, maybe like a week or a month, or a year would be amazing if you can have this kind of foresight and patience when it comes to your goals. But even a year, we're supposed to live like 80, 90 now, right? Maybe some of us are going to reach up until 100. So the furthest you can kind of discipline yourself and enable yourself to look into the future is about 100 of how long you're going to live, right? And it's pretty hilarious. And we talk about long-term goals. And then in like the perception that you have, the expectations that you have of what you're going to achieve in a year never materialize. Like it's absolutely impossible for you to end up in a situation where you achieve the exact desired result of the thing that you wanted to accomplish. Um, and I'm laughing because I think this is just completely ironic. Like all of us live in this constant duopoly, right? We have this uh, persistent duality of the way we perceive ourselves and the way things actually are. We see ourselves as this forward-looking, forward-thinking, planning creatures, and the reality is that we live moment to moment. It's undeniable. Like, it's all of us, and I know that, oh, but you have these great strategic thinkers that could, foresee events that happen. Usually those people they do have some foresight, you know. Um, but if you go back 20 years ago and you ask Jeff Bezos, hey, Jeff Bezos, what do you think is going to be the most lucrative part of your business? His answer would not have been AWS, right? They are cloud services. So you have a plan, you're working towards the plan, you have a long-term strategy, but day to day you have to adjust that, and day to day you have to make compromises with what your expectations are. And while we can't eliminate expectations, that's just impossible. It's human nature to hope, because expectation is just another word for hope, right? Our hopes and dreams is what distinguishes us from animals. So we need to keep those and we need to nurture them. But we also need to strike a little bit of a better balance, I feel, with the other side of the coin, with the duopoly in life, that is the realization that we're only present in the moment, and we cannot overcome that. So let's not dilute ourselves that we're able to foresee future events, and we're thus able to create these long-term plans that are going to yield the desired results that we're expecting. Let's just live in the now as much as we can. Focus on the here, focus on the moment that you're in, focus on the environment that's around you. It's a beautiful day here around me. It's sun is shining. It's a Friday. It's gonna be a great day, right? And whatever is gonna happen with my YouTube channel is gonna happen with my YouTube channel. And wherever you are, whatever the time might be in your destination or your location, sorry, there's beauty around you. And if you look for it, you're gonna find it. And then whatever kind of longer term expectations that you are not achieving at this point are poisoning the well of your mind, maybe by focusing on the people that love you, on the beauty around you, on the here and now, you can give yourself a little bit of a break and overcome your mental fragility, at least for a brief moment in time. That will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching and listening. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.